Cloudy skies and 78-degree temperatures is the sight from Silver Spring, Maryland, as your Bethesda Big Train gets set for game number 3 against the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts sit at 1-1, second place in their division. The Big Train yet to get their first win. They currently sit at 0-2. My name is Quincy Bell. Alongside me is Eliav Brooks-Rubin for his first game as a member of the Bethesda Big Train broadcast crew. He was a little late getting here. Was at Northwestern. They have a weird schedule out there, but Eliav, we're glad that you are here. What can you tell us about today's game?
Yeah, first of all, excited to be here for the first time. Just finished up class on Wednesday. Big Train looking for their first win. The last time they started 0-2 was 2012. So Big Train fans are used to a lot of wins early in the season. A different story so far. Pitching has been a little bit tough to come by. 21 walks in 2 games for the Big Train pitching staff. That's the number one issue that has to be cleaned up today.
The lineup for the Big Train tonight will be as follows. Alex Peltier will lead off. He was at East Carolina, a member of the Pirates baseball team. They made the NCAA tournament and got knocked out in the regional round, so he was a little late getting here. He'll be making his Big Train debut, followed by Brennan Wright, John Martinez, Logan Ponnet, Matthew Wesley, Patrick Corbin, Josh Skaronski, Emilio Gonzalez, and Jacob Hawk. The defense for the Thunderbolts to lead things off will be Ruiz, Sturdivant, Driscoll in the outfield from left to right. On the infield from third to first will go Curry, Erd, Cutney, Grimes, McCarthy, and tonight's starter will be Josh Domaraki out of Frostburg State University. Put up a 3.86 ERA in his last year. The Big Train with black jerseys, white lettering across the chest with gray pants and black knee-high socks with black hats with a gray brim. For the home team, the Thunderbolts, it will be blue hats with white jerseys, white pants, red numbers on the back, and blue T-bolt lettering across the chest. Peltier into the box from the right-handed side. Domaraki, a southpaw, awaits his catcher, McCarthy, tying his shoe. Now Peltier into the box, crowding the plate a little bit. Umpire points. He says play ball. Domaraki comes set into the windup, and we're underway from Silver Spring, Maryland. The first pitch is a fastball on the outer half for strike one.
Domaraki, 5'11" freshman southpaw, pitched just 2.1 innings in his first year at Frostburg State, so not a lot of experience on the mound at the college level.
Kick and the 0-1 swing and a miss by Peltier, and he's quickly behind 0-2.
Really good changeup from Domaraki there, just disappeared on Peltier.
Domaraki with options to go for on 0-2. Comes set at the chest, kicks and fires. Changeup on the outer half, called strike 3.
That is a pitcher's pitch right there from Domaraki. Doesn't get much better than that. Low and away. Peltier didn't agree with the call, but certainly close enough that he could have had a swing at it.
Perfectly placed pitch on the outer half for the first out, and now Brennan Wright will step in, the Meridian Community College member. He was one of their better players throughout this past season, their team captain as well. The lefty takes a slider down and away for ball 1.
Yeah, led the team in average, slugging, OPS, doubles, triples, stolen bases, and RBIs, and struck out the fewest of anyone in the starting lineup.
He has a lot of hustle and speed out of the left-handed side. He beat out a ground ball in the infield yesterday. He takes a fastball just below the knees, and he's ahead in the count 2-0.
Yesterday, 3 for 4, and was hit by a pitch, so on base 4 times.
Had a pretty solid opening day game as well against the DC Grays. Had a single and a walk as well in that game. 2-0 from Domaraki is a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. The Big Train have a pretty lefty-heavy lineup, and they have struggled a little bit to start this season against left-handed pitching. We'll see if they can buck that trend today against Domaraki. 2-1. Wright shows a bunt, and he gets it down right in front of the plate. McCarthy up with the throw to first. It's in time to get right.
Good job by McCarthy to get out of his squat. That was not a perfectly placed bunt by Wright, but with his speed, certainly one he could have beaten out. But McCarthy got out of the squat and rifled a throw down to first.
You don't see many bunts being laid down after 3 pitches in an at-bat. Wright trying to catch the T-Bolt defense off guard, but unsuccessful. So 2 out now in the top half of the first, and John Martinez will step in from the right-handed side. First pitch from Domaraki is a fastball that just misses low. It got all the way to the backstop. We're sitting directly behind the backstop. The home plate netting is about 2 feet in front of us.
Martinez started the first couple games at shortstop today, DHing. Change of role for him, but still hitting in that 3 spot that he has populated for the first week of the season.
It'll be Wright who moves to short on the Big Train defense. He played second the first 2 games. 1-0 fastball taken right down the middle by Martinez for strike 1.
Martinez started 55 games at FAU, 729 OPS, 3 homers, 14 doubles.
1-1. Curveball broke a little too late. It's just above the letters. And Martinez ahead in the count 2-1.
Martinez, another guy with speed, already stolen base in each of the first 2 games.
He's been a threat on the bases for the Big Train. Swing and a miss on the outside fastball, and the count now even at 2-2 to Martinez. The Big Train have gotten a lot of leadoff runners on. The trend has been trying to get those leadoff runs to come around. This time they're trying to start a 2-out rally with Martinez. 2-2, fastball taken just below the knees. And the count will now run full.
Yeah, they've done a really good job getting on base. It's just been, getting that hit, that last hit to drive guys in. 27 left on base in the first 2 games.
Domaraki set, full count payoff, popped up in the air towards right center field. Driscoll over. He will make the catch to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down, go the Big Train as we head to the bottom half of the first. Welcome back to Silver Spring, Maryland. No runs, no hits in the top half of the first for the Big Train. It'll be Drew Bellis on the mound, the left-hander out of the University of Central Florida. 4 appearances and a 4.5 ERA for him, a .286 batting average against. And he will work to the leadoff man for the Thunderbolts, Caleb Sturdivant.
Yeah, lefty on lefty on the bump today. Bellis, .286 batting average against, 1 strikeout, 3 walks across 2 innings pitched at the University of Central Florida.
Sturdivant into the box from the right-hand side, crowding the plate, takes a fastball just off the plate for ball 1.
Sturdivant, a senior last year at Millersville, appeared in 20 games, but just 1 for 11 at the plate.
The senior from Denver, Pennsylvania, takes a fastball high, and he's ahead 2-0.
Started his career at Pitt all the way back in 2022.
Has a hitter's count now against Bellis. Kick and the fire. That fastball taken just below the letters for a strike. Multiple pitchers on this Big Train staff are from Central Florida. Michael Cass is the other one. 2-1, curveball, catches plate at the knees for strike 2 to Sturdivant.
Really good, sharp curveball from Bellis. That one bent in on the inside corner to Sturdivant, the righty.
Count even at 2-2. Into the windup is Bellis. This ball popped up foul and out of play over the press box. So the count will stay even at Sturdivant as he looks to provide some pressure on the Big Train early. 2-2. Bellis comes set again, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Held on to by Hawk behind the plate, and there's one down.
Yeah, again, back to the curveball. Got some good 12-6 action from Bellis. The first one kind of broke towards the inside corner on Sturdivant. That one stayed away, and Sturdivant swung over the top. The pitch ended up near the dirt, caught in the air. The umpire ruled.
It had a little bit of east to west movement. I feel like it came back enough to where Sturdivant, it looked like it was going to be a strike, so he offered at it. Aiden Driscoll will now step into the box from the left-hand side. He takes a slider at the knees for strike 1.
So far, it's been the off-speed pitch that has found the zone more consistently for Bellis.
Into the windup for the 0-1. Fastball just above the letters for a ball. And the story of the first couple games for the Big Train has been too many walks and unnecessary runners on base. So Bellis looking to buck that trend today. 1-1, another fastball high and inside. It brushes Driscoll off the plate.
Yeah, Big Train, 21 walks and 10 hit by pitches as a pitching staff through 17 innings pitched. They've allowed the second most runs in the league, and the team with the most has played an extra game.
1-1. Curveball misses just high. It's 3-1. The scoreboard said 1-1, but it was 2-1. So umpire showing now 3-1. Bellis working quickly into the windup. Fastball swung on and missed by Driscoll, and the count's now full.
That would have been ball 4. That was a good pitch with a lot of inverted vertical break that stayed up above the letters, but induced a swing from Driscoll.
Full count payoff. Fastball fouled straight back. Gabe Ruiz, the 3-hitter for the T-Bolts, waits on deck. Driscoll trying to ensure that he has a runner on for his at-bat. Bellis leans back a little bit, nods, has his side, comes set just below his chin, now kicks and fires. Driven up the middle on a line, and it's into center field for a base hit. So Driscoll reaches with a full count single with 1 out. Now Gabe Ruiz will step in.
Good at bat by Driscoll. Worked the count full, fouled a couple pitches off, and then got a fastball that caught too much of the zone. Was able to drive it right back up the middle, hit it pretty hard.
That'll bring Gabe Ruiz to the plate, the sophomore from UMBC. His hometown is Silver Spring, Maryland, so he's playing not far from home. He takes a fastball outside for ball 1.
Ruiz, one of 9 returning batters out of the 17 on the T-Bolts roster. 9 of them played here last year. Appeared in 17 games.
A lot of familiar faces. Kick and the fire from Bellis. Swung on and missed a fastball outside. Ruiz now even in the count 1-1.
Last summer, Ruiz struck out 30 times in 63 at-bats, so the swing and miss is a big part of his game.
Driscoll with the lead at first. Bellis comes set, kicks and fires. Fastball misses just down and away, and the count's 2-1. Ruiz supporting an all-red bat from barrel to handle. He's back in from the right side. 2-1 offering from Bellis. Curveball catches right down the middle. And the count's now even at 2-2 to Ruiz.
You can see when Bellis goes, when he gets behind in a count, he is going to that curveball. That is the pitch that he appears to trust most here today.
2-2. Checks the runner at first, now comes to the plate. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Ruiz just a little bit late. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Bellis. And now today's catcher for the T-Bolts, Jack McCarthy, will step in with a runner on first and 2 out.
McCarthy plays at Marymount University, Atlantic East Conference first team and rookie of the year as a sophomore, but a newcomer, a redshirt freshman, really, and a newcomer to the league. Hit .399 with a 1,009 OPS, 44 runs batted in.
And a 444 on base as well. First pitch to him, bounces and gets to the backstop. Moving up to second is Driscoll.
And McCarthy, another returner to this T-Bolts lineup. Hit .277 last year. Not a lot of pop, just .298 slug, but got on base at a .404 clip.
It's always nice to have an on-base type of guy, and he's improved the slugging in his past collegiate year, so probably why he's getting the nod in the cleanup spot today. Curveball misses just high. It's 2-0 on McCarthy.
Looked like a cross-up between Bellis and Hawk behind the plate. Curveball dropped in, and Hawk was rising out of his crouch as if he thought it was going to be a high fastball. Ended up dropping the pitch and now out to confer with Bellis just to make sure they have their signs all squared away.
Not a very long meeting, just a quick, hey, this is what we're doing, and then back to business. Ahead in the count 2-0 is McCarthy. Driscoll sits at second in scoring position with 2 out. McCarthy peers in, has his sign. Now looks back, the runner at second, now comes to the plate. Fastball, appeal to first for a swing, no swing, says our first base umpire, and it's 3-0 to McCarthy. I doubt we see a very competitive pitch here with the base open. I think the Big Train content to maybe just put McCarthy on here. Because right now you're in a spot where a hit is a lot better than a walk with that runner in scoring position in 2 out. Kick and the 3-0. Fastball taken right down the middle. And McCarthy content to just watch it and see a 3-1 count.
McCarthy picking up his first appearance of the season in game number 3 for the T-Bolts.
3-1. Popped up, foul and out of play just above the first base dugout, and the count is now full on McCarthy.
A good job by Bellis. Rather than, concede the walk and put 2 guys on, battled back, fastball, understanding that McCarthy probably didn't have the green light in that situation, and then another fastball in on the hands, and just like that, it's 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
Full count, 2 out, runner on second. McCarthy awaits the payoff from Drew Bellis. Deep breath kick and the fire driven down the right field line, but it will get foul out of play into the trees. There's a tree line in center and right field, and then in left field there's some sort of factory.
Firehouse.
It's a fire station. It is a fire station. 325 down the line in left, 403 in center, and 315 down the line in right. Another full count from Bellis to McCarthy. Kick and the fire. Slider misses down and inside, and McCarthy has a 2-out walk. Nice patient at bat there. Got to 3-0. Wasn't phased after the 2 strikes. Was able to take a tough pitch down and in, and now Nolan Cutney will step in and look to break this game open for the T-Bolts.
Bellis pitch count already up to 25 here in the first inning. He's thrown 14 strikes to 11 balls, so outside of that at-bat, controlling the zone for the most part, but certainly has had to work to get his outs today.
Cutney, also from UMBC, he is a junior. He hit 200 last year with a 304 on base and 350 slugging. He's hitting 5th today in the T-Bolts lineup. Had a double and 2 RBIs, as well as a stolen base on Wednesday. He swings and misses at a high fastball for strike 1. Runner on second is Driscoll. Runner on first is McCarthy. 2 out, bottom half of the first. No score yet here from Silver Spring, Maryland. Bellis kicks and fires. Fastball just misses the outer edge of the plate, and it's 1-1. Cutney takes a practice swing in the box. Bella set, looks back the runner on second. Now Kickson comes to the plate. Another fastball just missing outside, and it's 2-1.
And Bellis has lost a little bit of command here late in this inning. A lot of fastballs just missing high or missing on the arm side. Gonna have to pull it down a little more and relocate in the zone.
He has had a few competitive misses. Nothing is missing really far and away from the zone, so a lot of competitive pitches. 2-1. Fastball just misses inside that time, and it's 3-1 to Cutney.
And that time he made that adjustment, pulled it just a little more in order to not leave it arm side, but ended up pushing it glove side onto the back hip of Cutney.
3-1. 2 runners on for Cutney. He might see a pretty competitive pitch here and take a hack at it. He does, and he's late on the fastball. The count is now full with 2 outs, and the runners at first and second will have a head start on this next pitch. Bellis looking to dig deep and get out of the first inning with no runs. Nolan Cutney trying to ensure that does not happen. Full count, 2 outs. Both runners go. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cutney down, swinging 3 strikeouts in the inning for Drew Bellis. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base. We head to the second inning. No score between the T-Bolts and Big Train. Top half of the second inning set to commence here from Silver Spring, Maryland. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Big Train in this inning. Ponnet, Wesley, and Corbin. Logan Ponnet out of the University of Charlotte will lead things off. He's had an eventful start to his Big Train tenure. He had a game-tying grand slam against the DC Grays on opening night. It tied the game at 11 after the Big Train were down 11-7. A game the Big Train eventually lost 12-11, and then yesterday he got moved up to the 6th spot and put up 2 hits yesterday. Now he's hitting out of the cleanup spot, and he takes a changeup outside for ball 1.
So, effective progression up the lineup for Ponnet, who did not appear in his first year at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte.
1-0. He lines one to first, but stabbed by the first baseman Grimes. That one was right at him.
Yeah, hit it on the nose. A little late on it, drove it the other way, but not much you can do. And you hit it right at the first baseman. Didn't have to move a step.
Matthew Wesley will now step in. He had 3 walks and a single last night against the Olney Crop Dusters. And he had an RBI double on opening day against the Grays. He awaits the first pitch from Josh Domaraki. It is a changeup that bounces in the dirt for a ball.
You mentioned the 3 walks yesterday. He also had 3 walks on Wednesday, which gives him, for my lackadaisical math skills, 6 walks through 2 games, which leads the league so far. He only had 9 in 27 games with the Big Train last season.
Yeah, he's had a lot of very disciplined at-bats. 1-0 the count on him. The lefty Domaraki comes with a curveball at the knees for a strike.
Wesley is not going to expand the zone. He's going to make you earn it as a pitcher.
Nobody on, one out, top half of the second. No score yet from Silver Spring, Maryland. 1-1. Changeup just misses low, and Wesley ahead in the count, 2-1. Domoraki, the lefty trying to battle back in the count, comes with another curveball on the 2-1, and it's grounded right back to the pitcher, Domoraki, and it was actually on a line. I couldn't really see it because the umpire is standing directly in front of the line of view, but he caught it. Line drive right back to the pitcher.
Yeah, 2 really hard-hit balls for Big Train and 2 hard-hit outs. And you're hitting line drives right at guys. There's not much you can do.
Corbin now up. He shows a bunt, and he is able to pull it back in time on a curveball low. There was an appeal to third, but third base umpire says no swing. The lefty now digs back in ahead in the count 1-0. Domoraki kicks and fires. Fastball right down the middle for a strike.
Corbin still seeking his first Big Train hit. Pretty similar stat lines in Wednesday's and Thursday's game. 0 for 3 on Wednesday, 0 for 2 on Thursday. A run, a walk, a hit by pitch, and an RBI in both.
1-1. Curveball driven high in the air out towards right center field. Going back is Sturdivant, and the center fielder makes the catch to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down again for the Big Train as we head to the bottom half of the second. No score yet from Silver Spring. Bottom half of the second set to commence. Drew Bellis out for his second inning of work. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, but 3 strikeouts to retire the side for the Thunderbolts. And it will be 6, 7, and 8 due up. Curry, Grimes, and Thomas. Bryce Curry will step into the box. Currently entering his junior year at the University of Hofstra. He hails from Gaithersburg, Maryland. And the 6'3", 220-pounder will step in from the right side. Bellis peers in, kicks and delivers. Check swing, appeal to first, and no swing as Curry able to hold up on the fastball. 1-0 now from Bellis, who's working quickly. This fastball's popped up out of play behind home plate.
Curry, another one of those returners for the Thunderbolts. Hits 646 OPS across 26 games last year. Struck out 14 times and walked 14 times.
Bellis kicks and fires the 1-1. Slider, another check swing, another appeal to first. This time, the first base umpire throws up the fist. He says that Curry went, and he's behind in the count 1-2.
Sharpest breaking ball we've seen from Bellis yet. The bottom fell out of that one. Ended up skipping in to the mitt of Hawk.
The UCF Knight looking for his 4th strikeout, and he has it. Swing and a miss on the outside fastball from Curry for out number 1.
Ellis has his ace stuff working today. The fastball on the arm side. He was missing that spot a couple times in the first inning. That's what led to the lone walk of the inning, but he's gotten a couple of swings and misses, and that breaking pitch is just sitting in the zone, kind of right where you want it, low around the knees.
His first 4 outs, all courtesy of the strikeout. And now Brady Grimes will step in. First pitch to him is a fastball that catches the inner half for strike 1. The Big Train have struggled so far this year with too many walks, so I'm sure head coach Sal Colangelo loves to see Drew Bellis attacking the zone as much as he has. Kick and the 0-1. Fastball right at the knees, and he's ahead 0-2.
Grimes at Millersville as a redshirt sophomore had 5 plate appearances, 5 at-bats, and 3 appearances on the mound.
Bellis ahead on the count 0-2. He has options on where to go to. Kick and the windup, swing and a miss. The fastball completely drops out from underneath Brady Grimes, and that's 5 strikeouts in 2 2/3 for Drew Bellis.
And Bellis is moving, has recorded all of his outs via the K, and in this inning he's made quick work of the first 2 hitters, Curry and Grimes.
Steve Thomas for the Thunderbolts will now step in from the right side, looking to erase that trend and put something in play. Into the windup, first pitch. Grounded towards the third base side, fielded by Ponnett. Throw across is in time. 1-2-3, go the Thunderbolts. No score after 2 innings. We'll head to the top of the 3rd. Big Train look to get on the board first. No score after 2 innings between the Thunderbolts and Big Train. The bottom of the Big Train order, 7, 8, and 9, will look to start the scoring and break the ice. Here in game number 3, it'll be Skowronski, Gonzalez, and Hawk due up in this inning. Skowronski hit clean up the first 2 games for the Big Train, but head coach Sal Colangelo has brought out the blender. In this game, he's moved him down to the 7 spot. First pitch is a changeup over the plate for strike 1.
Big Train still looking for their first base runner, and Skowronski has a good case to be that first base runner. 405 on base percentage last year at Big Train, 436 at Winthrop.
3 up, 3 down in the first 2 innings. Josh Domaraki, the T-Bolt starter, still on the mound. He delivers a curveball just inside.
It's been really efficient. Only 22 pitches through the first 2 innings. 9 pitch second.
Skowronski awaits and fouls off an inside slider up against the netting. And he is behind in the count 1-2. He has a lot of power in his bat. Hit 13 home runs in 58 games at Winthrop in the Big South Conference. Yet to really create a spark in the first 2 games for the Big Train. 1-2, fouled away down the line and out of play.
Yeah, Skowronski just 1 for 6 through the first 2 games. Has walked 4 times, so he's gotten on base at a good clip, but has not tapped into that power bat quite yet.
The clouds have become a little bit darker, and it's starting to sprinkle a little bit. A few raindrops have fallen. 1-2, fastball taken on the outer half for strike 3. Great location there from Domaraki, and he has his second strikeout of the outing.
Not just his second strikeout, but his second strikeout looking on what can only be described as a perfect pitch. First time was to the righty Peltier on his outside corner. This time goes to the other corner and punches out Skoronsky.
He's been accurate as well, 16 strikes to only 10 balls. And another lefty-lefty matchup for him as Emilio Gonzalez steps in. First pitch is a fastball taken right down Broadway for strike 1.
And Gonzalez was a second-team All-League Cal Ripken League player last year with the Big Train. Hit .337, .932 on OPS.
One of 4 FAU Owls on this Big Train roster. He grounds one to first. Grimes is up with it. He has an easy walk to first for out number 2.
Domaraki continuing his consistency, quick at bats, hasn't worked deep into counts, has still yet to allow a base runner, and Big Train first time through the lineup looked pretty confused by his stuff.
So now the 9-hitter Jacob Hawk will step in as Domaraki has gone perfect through the first 8 batters of this game, and he leads Hawk off with a fastball at the knees for a strike. Nobody on, 2 out, top half of the third, still 0-0. Domaraki kicks and fires. Fastball taken just outside for a ball. Hawk went 0 for 3 on opening day, but he did push across 2 RBIs, courtesy of some groundouts. Did score a run and had 2 walks. He did not play yesterday, switching off catching duties with Dylan Murphy. He pops one up down the line and right. The first baseman, Grimes, looking. He does not have room. It just ticks off the top of the fence and lands out of play.
Yeah, it would have been a 5-star play if he had been able to get there. Probably within reach, technically, despite the fact that it landed on the other side of the fence, but certainly would have had to put his body on the line for that foul pop-up.
Hawk down in the count 1-2, and Grimes looking to go perfect the first time through the Big Train order. He's 1 strike away from 3 perfect innings. The lefty comes set, kicks and fires. Fastball on the outer edge, just doesn't catch enough plate. Called a ball by our home plate umpire, and the count's 2-2. Count now even. Domaraki kicks and fires. Changeup taken in the dirt, and the count is now full on Hawk. Hawk looking to get the first base runner of the game for the Big Train. He fouls one way deep out of play down the right field line, and he's putting up a pretty competitive at-bat here.
Yeah, I would say this has been the best at-bat for Big Train in this game. He's seen 7 pitches now. He's fouled a couple off with 2 strikes, has taken a couple of close pitches. Chance to earn himself a walk.
Another payoff from Domaraki. Fastball just low but called. Strike 3. Hawk thought that he had a free pass. He flipped the bat and started to jog towards first. But another 3 up, 3 down inning for the Big Train. Drew Bellis will look to keep this game scoreless in the bottom half of the third. Bottom half of the third set to start here from Silver Spring, Maryland. It'll be 9-1 and 2 due up for the home squad, the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Josh Erd, Caleb Sturdivant, and Aiden Driscoll. Erd steps into the box. He has a unique sort of style with his pants, real baggy pants, and he has blue socks, and he has about 6 to 5 inches of the socks showing just above his ankle. He swings and misses at the first pitch, a fastball for strike one.
It almost looks like he's wearing like tearaway basketball pants for the bench players.
He fouls back a fastball straight into the net for strike two. That is a very good visual description of how the pants do look. He's behind in the count 0-2 as Bellis looks for yet another strikeout on his line. Erd fouls one out of play down the right field line.
Erd, a pretty unique batting stance. He stands kind of preloaded onto that back leg. All of his weight is there, and he's just shifting forward when he swings.
Another 0-2 from Bellis. Curveball runs inside. It almost hits Erd in the ankle, but he shuffles out of the way. 5 of the first 6 outs from this game for Drew Bellis were strikeouts. Looking for number 6 ahead of the count, still 1-2. Fastball popped up, foul straight back. And the count will remain at 1-2. Bellis into the windup again. Curveball misses in the dirt. Good job by Erd to hold off on that one.
Curveball's gotten sharper as this game has gone on. First couple innings, it was a little bit softer, sitting in the zone. Last few times he's thrown it, it's broken from the zone all the way down into the dirt. 2-2.
Grounded towards third. Nice stab over there by Ponnet. Throw across in time. Caught that ball on a hard, fast hop. He fielded it sort of on his next to his waist, and he spun around, made a very strong throw for the first out.
And got a very speedy Josh Erd, who stole 11 bases at Frederick Community College this season. So not an easy play, any part of it.
The lineup will flip over, and Caleb Sturdivant, the leadoff man for the T-Bolts, will dig back in. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Bellis set into the windup. First pitch, fastball on the outer half for a strike. And he is just pounding the zone so far today. 29 strikes to 17 balls. That's a good ratio.
And he was at 14 strikes to 11 balls. So really, since that walk in the first inning, has turned it on. It's been all over the strike zone.
Kick in the 0-1. Swing and a miss on a slider in the dirt. He's quickly ahead. 0-2 on Sturdivant. One strike away from strikeout number 6. Kick in the 0-2. Slider catches the outer half for strike 3. He gets Sturdivant for the second time today.
Yeah, first strikeout looking for Bellis, 6th of the game. Only has gotten 8 outs. That time fooled Sturdivant with the off speed. Broke it back in, kind of backdoored slider.
He's been working pretty efficiently as well. Only 48 pitches so far through 2 2/3. Had a little bit of an elongated first inning, but second inning was efficient. So far, an efficient third. And now he has a favorable lefty-lefty matchup against Aiden Driscoll. He delivers a 12-6 curveball over the middle for strike 1. Driscoll back into the box. The lefty fires. Slider misses down and away in the dirt.
Driscoll listed as a catcher on the Maryland page where he plays his baseball during the collegiate season, but starting today in right field.
1-1. Fouled straight back. Count now 1-2. And he shares backup catching duties with Jacob Hawk, who's currently doing the catching for the big trade today. So those two know each other fairly well. I wonder if we see a jersey swap after the game, jersey swap picture between those two.
We might.
I feel like a bet on that would be a pretty solid move. Another delivery from Bellis, fastball high. 2-1 now the count on Driscoll.
Certainly in the pregame there, we saw a couple conversations between players on the opposing teams, guys who knew each other from either college or high school. That was one of them.
Half swing, appeal to third, no swing, says the third base umpire. I don't know about that one, Eliab. I think he went on that one. That was close, but that bat head was way out there, I thought.
I tend to agree with you, Quincy. I think he was a little overextended. Third base umpire obviously disagrees, but.
So Bellis will need to deliver one more strike with the count now full.
It's been a pretty unfavorable check for these pitchers.
Into the windup, payoff from Bellis. Taking high is Driscoll, and he's on for the second time today, this time with a walk.
Yeah, so that check swing comes back to bite Drew Bellis. His second walk.
Gabe Ruiz will now step in. He struck out in his first at-bat. The righty digs in as Driscoll gets a few steps of a lead over at first. First pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball one. Gonzalez, the first baseman, holding Driscoll there. Bellis checks the runner, now kicks and fires. Fouled down the first baseline, just off the facing of the T-Bolts dugout.
T-Bolts having trouble catching up to Bellis' fastball, which has a good amount of ride on it and is kind of taking him by surprise, I think, a little bit. The T-Bolts have been late or swinging right through it.
1-1. Bellis bounces one and it gets away from Hawk. Moving up to second is Driscoll. And so far, the Big Train have done a good job of, or Bellis has been doing a good job of getting out of innings with runners on. That's been a problem for the pitching staff so far this season, as well as the walks. But he has allowed a two-out runner who's now in scoring position. 2-1. Popped up in the air towards shallow right. Coming in to make the catch is Skoronsky, so no harm, no foul on the two-out walk. We've played 3 innings from Silver Spring, no score.
Liam Miller replaces Josh Domaraki on the mound. Domaraki worked 3 perfect innings through 36 pitches, but his day is done. I'm taking over at play-by-play for these middle 3 innings. And Big Train will turn their lineup over for the first time. It'll be Alex Peltier step into the plate, struck out looking his first time up.
I'm not sure if I agree pulling Domoraki after 3 perfect innings. I understand you got to keep guys on a pitch limit, and they only have so many bullets in the chamber. But in Summer League, when you're playing 40 games in the span of 2 months, I feel like you got to keep your starter in there when he's on a roll.
First pitch from Miller runs inside. So Peltier ahead 1-0. I agree with you, Quincy. I think in a situation like that, low pitch count, hasn't allowed a base runner, got to eat the innings. Miller winds and deals in the dirt for ball 2.
Yeah, now you got 2 very non-competitive misses out of Liam Miller. And I'm sure the Big Train are loving to see a new face on the mound after they were thoroughly dominated through the first 3 innings.
Miller kicks and fires and grounded 2 short. Will be Erd making the throw and beats Peltier by half a step. Peltier, a lot of speed over there, but Erd able to take care of that one.
Yeah, that play was close. He and Brennan Wright, who's now stepping to the plate, both of them have a lot of speed out of the first 2 spots in this lineup. So when they do get on, they can be a threat to really manufacture some runs here for the Train.
Absolutely, Quincy. Liam Miller on the mound for the T-Bolts, a junior from Rochester Institute of Technology, through 8.1 innings as he gets set and misses very high for ball 1. Through 8.1 innings, 11.88 ERA, but just a 143 batting average again, so more of an issue of control rather than allowing hits.
RIT, one of the better NCAA hockey teams in the country.
Stands 6 foot tall on the right side and drops in a curveball for strike 1.
Very nice pitch there on the outer half of the plate.
So a righty-lefty matchup for Brennan Wright, and as you said, Big Train runs lefty heavy. 1-1 well outside in the other batter's box.
And being lefty heavy, I'm sure they're glad to see the lefty off the mound and now a righty, because most of their damage in this season, especially in that game against the DC Grays, was against right-handed pitching.
Right, and obviously Domoraki, so much success. The 2-1 is fouled back over the third base side. Brendan Wright in 2-strike hole. Laid down a late at-bat bunt his first time up. 2-1 count, tried to sneak a bunt past the T-Bolts, but catcher Jake McCarthy was able to pop out and throw him out at first. 2-2 from Miller is inside for ball 3.
Very disciplined take there from Wright. That pitch barely missed. Could have easily been called a strike, but able to spit on that one and now see a full count.
Payoff pitch from Miller to Wright is high and in, but not high and in enough. Wright took off for first. Home plate umpire punched him out. 4th strikeout looking by the Big Train today. All 4 of their strikeouts have been watching it go by.
And that looked like almost the exact same pitch that he took for ball 3. That's really frustrating as a hitter when you think the last pitch was the exact same and it's a different call from the umpire.
So John Martinez steps in. Big Train still seeking their first base runner. Martinez hitting in the 3 spot. Takes ball 1 high. Martinez, another guy with speed, stolen base in each of the first 2 games. 1-0 from Miller is grounded hard but foul.
Yeah, he timed that one up well. Just got the bat head a little bit too out in front. If he's a hair of a second later on that, that's getting ripped down the line for extra bases.
Umpire now steps out and calls time, so we'll have a quick break in the action. Martinez resets himself and steps back into the box. Stands at 5'11" in the right-handed batter's box. Miller's 1-1 is low for ball 2 in the dirt.
And Martinez was a 2023 perfect game preseason second team all-region at Montverde Academy in Orlando, most notably known for their basketball team, but they do have a very strong baseball program as well.
Miller winds and deals, and it is popped sky high near home plate, foul territory. McCarthy calling it and makes the catch in foul ground. So that'll do it for the Big Train. 3 up, 3 down for the 4th consecutive inning. A new pitcher on the mound when we come back. Score still 0-0 in the middle of the 4th. Bottom of the fourth, Jack McCarthy to the plate, secured the final out of the top of the fourth, and now we'll get a chance to lead things off here in the bottom from the cleanup spot. New arm on the mound for the big train, Kide Adetuyi from Florida Atlantic, one of the 4 players. Appeared in 21 games, no starts, 8.40 ERA, 15 strikeouts in 15 innings pitched.
He overcame a UCL tear on one of his first pitches at FAU in the fall of 2023, so he did not pitch in 2024. His first real substantial year for him was this past 2025 season. He was able to redshirt that year.
His first pitch in a big train uniform is grounded, slowly trickling foul off the third base side.
And in 2025, he made 21 appearances in relief. That was the 6th most on the team. The longest outing that he had was only 1 1/3 innings. He did that 4 separate times. So you got to wonder how long of a leash he'll have. It looks like both of these teams are content to go 3 innings, 3 innings, 3 innings if they can with their pitchers.
Yeah, we'll see how efficient he is and how effective. So far, all 3 pitchers that have appeared have been exceptionally effective on either side. Domaraki and Bellis trading 3 zeros for their time on the mound, and then Liam Miller coming out and putting up a 0 of his own. The 0-1 is low. Jack McCarthy took his time getting back in the box. Now steps out and adjusts his ankle guard. So 1-1 count at Adetuyi from the left side, and now timeout by Jack McCarthy.
He looked like he was starting his windup while McCarthy was still getting ready in the box. You're supposed to give enough time for the header to be easily ready. And now the plate umpire is telling Hawk to make sure that he doesn't do that again.
McCarthy manipulating time here. 1-1 is bounced to short. Smooth throw over to first. Plenty of time. Brendan Wright makes the play. Nolan Cutney steps to the plate for the second time. First time up, struck out to end the first inning and end the threat, the biggest threat of the game for either team so far. 2 on for the T-Bolts in the first. Adetuyi's first pitch is a curveball off the plate outside.
And there was some strong east to west movement there. I know that pitch was just left outside, but I thought for a second it was going to come back and catch some plate.
1-0, fastball runs high. So Adetuyi working very quickly and quickly behind 2-0.
Yeah, he is working very fast, and he already got called for working too fast one time.
Nods his head yes, sets and delivers, and that pitch bends back in. There you go, that east-west movement bends in for strike 1.
And I think he has Jacob Hawk to thank for why that pitch was called a strike. That was a beautiful frame. He snapped the glove off and brought it right back into the zone.
Already throws the 2-1, that time outside, and even Hawk couldn't get it into the strike zone, so behind 3-1. Adetuyi trying to avoid to put his first runner on base.
Yeah, the one strike that was called, that did not catch plate. That was just a beautiful frame of the catcher.
The 3-1 from Adetuyi is fouled away right side, so we will have a full count for Nolan Cutney, who worked a full count in his first at-bat before striking out on a fastball on the outside half. Cutney, the tall backstop, sees the payoff pitch, and a curveball does not break in the zone. Ball 4.
Yeah, that one just didn't catch enough plate there, barely left off the outside edge, maybe a little high as well, but some competitive misses from Adetuyi in that walk. He wasn't just throwing 4 fastballs to the backstop.
Yeah, it threw a lot of off-speed pitches, despite the fact that he did not have the arm side split in his favor. A lot of curveballs that he's trying to bend in on the backside. Well, backdoor breaking ball action. Got one of them to fall. First pitch gets all the way to the backstop. McCarthy walks into second base. A fastball just ran away from him.
Yeah, a little bit of an announcer's jinx there. Right after I said he isn't just throwing fastballs to the backstop, he throws a fastball to the backstop.
Threw that hard enough and wide enough that Hawk was not even able to get any piece of his glove on it. So Nolan Cutney the runner in scoring position. It's a 1-0. Another fastball outside. This time was snagged by Hawk, who had to come off his line to make the catch. So Atatui a little bit wild here in his first inning of work on the season. 2-0 pitch, swung on and fouled back behind the backstop. So another fastball outside, that time catching plate. Atatui back into the count, 2-1.
That was a big cut there for Bryce Curry. He was waiting on something over the plate at 2-0.
Oh, excuse me. I've been saying Cutney. He already walked. It is Curry. 2-1 to Curry. Another fastball outside. 3-1 consecutive counts for Atatui, falling behind 3-1. Bryce Curry, 25 starts for Hofstra. 26 appearances for the T-Bolts last season. 3-1, another fastball fouled straight back, and another full count.
Yeah, Atatui's going to have to dig deep and put a real good pitch here. This is the best chance the T-Bolts have had to score a run all day, but if he can get an out here, it would take a hit to score that runner from second.
Payoff pitch. Atatui, long stare in for a guy who's been working pretty quickly. Now he kicks and fires, and it's bounced slowly to third base. Ponnet charging hard off his back foot, and he makes the play.
Yeah, that was a great pitch. Like I said, needed from Atatui. Slider ran in on the hands of Curry, and he just slowly grounded one to third. But that's a tough play for Ponnet to make. Charging in, off-balance throw, throws a strike over there to Gonzalez at first, and now Big Train one out away from getting through a scoreless fourth.
Nolan Cutney over to third on the action, so 90 feet away from scoring, and we've seen Big Train have already thrown 3 wild pitches in this game. Another one here would probably score a run. First pitch to Brady Grimes is outside, and that fastball, a lot of life to it, Quincy, from Atatui, and not in the right direction.
Yeah, he's throwing hard, but most of the fastballs, I just think he's not pulling his arm down enough. A lot of them have just missed outside.
1-0 this time, misses low.
The sliders have found their fair share of the edge of the zone, and overall, he hasn't been the most accurate, 7 strikes to 8 balls, but he's been effectively wild and has forced some pretty weak contact so far. Just got to hope that run doesn't cross from third.
2-0 count to Grimes in the 8th spot. Another fastball out, and it's 3-0.
And a lot of pitchers have the mindset of, if I'm behind in the count, I'm not just going to give you a get me over to try to get a strike. I'm still going to be coming with my best stuff, and if I walk you, I'm bringing my best stuff to the next guy.
2 bases open for Atatui to work with. 3-0 pitch finds the outside corner for strike 1.
And that wasn't just a get-me-over fastball right down the middle. He's still trying to plant one right on the outer frame, because 3-0 with a runner on third, 2 outs, that's where you might see a guy take a hack, because this is a spot where a hit is a lot better than a walk.
Now 3-1, still a hitter's count. This fastball misses, so 2 walks in the inning. 2 on, 2 out now for Steve Thomas, the designated hitter. And a quick chat between home plate or catcher Jacob Hawk and pitcher Kide Atatui. Settle down the arm. See if we can locate the fastball a little better.
Yeah, and he still has a base open, too, to still come with some really competitive pitches with those fastballs. The problem would be if he were to walk Thomas, he'd have bases loaded and nowhere to put Josh Erd.
Thomas, one of the better players in the Catholic University program. Program records single season in hits with 73 and runs with 62 this past season. Landmark Conference second-team player. A pickoff, deceptive pickoff move from Atatui over to first. Has to be careful with the runner on third. Make sure he doesn't take off.
That was a good move, though. Grimes was caught completely off guard. The throw came a little bit low. Gonzalez had to dig it out of the dirt. I think a strong throw gets the out there.
First pitch into Steve Thomas is a strike.
I think it's more of Grimes needs to be careful at first rather than Atatui needs to be careful of throwing one away.
Yeah, Grimes absolutely cannot get picked off here. The 0-1 out of the stretch is low for ball one. Steve Thomas, another returner for the T-Bolts. Hit 269, 820 OPS, homered, won 6 doubles a year ago across 19 games, and he grounds one right side, and that will get through for the first run of the game. Jack McCarthy scores. Brady Grimes stops at second, going the other way for an RBI single.
Yeah, that time he just was able to get the barrel out to the outer half of the plate. He knows that it too. He was trying to get the fastball on the outer edge, got the barrel out there, and just punched it through for the first run.
A really good job. Didn't hit it super hard and hit it on the ground, but with the way the infield was positioned, with Gonzalez holding on Grimes at first, ball snuck through with just enough velocity to score a run. Now Josh Hurd out of the 9 spot. Hack in first pitch, fouls it back.
Yeah, and you just can't let this inning spiral away from you if you're the Big Train. The top of the order is looming after Erd. It's been just getting out of innings for the Big Train that have caused them problems. They only allowed runs in 3 innings yesterday, but 10 total runs.
The 0-1 is low for strike one, so it's a matter of containing the innings to single runs at a time. Cannot allow the big inning, the curvy number. 1-1 from Adetui is lined right side, and that's through for a base hit. Grimes is waved around. He will come in. Throw to the plate is in time. Beats him by 5 steps. A rocket from right field. Josh Skoronsky cuts down the third out at home plate. Big Train gets out with just 1 run allowed.
He has one of the strongest arms in right field in the entire league. He's been throwing bullets all throughout these first 2 games. He finally gets to show it off. A great throw to the plate to gun down Grimes.
Top of the 5th here at Blair High School, home of the T-Bolts for the summer. Liam Miller back on the mound. Big Train still looking for the first base runner. It's Logan Ponnet out of the DH spot, his 2nd time up.
Do you know Blair High School's mascot?
Blair High School, I believe.
Because you're from the area and I'm not.
This is something I should know. I do have a friend who went here. Miller Wines and Deals. Let me get back to you. First pitch may have been behind Ponnet, but did not hit him. So ball 1. Blair is the Blazers.
Because you looked at it on the
Scoreboard.
The scoreboard.
I'm going to say I knew
Producer
it.
Gibson giving you the hint there.
I'm going to say
That
I knew it
doesn't-
the whole way.
Okay, so
It's-
since you missed the first 2 games, Jackson and I have a running count of assumptions, like where we guess things that we during the broadcast. He's 1 for 2. I'm 0 for 2. That does not count because you looked at it.
Okay.
In the
That was ball 2 was over the head of Logan Ponnet, and Miller now behind 2-0. Fastball low but in the zone. I'll concede that doesn't count. We'll come up with something else here. What was your correct assumption?
Okay, so I did not have one. The first one was
Or was Jackson's?
The first one was the mascot of Marist College.
2-1 is grounded up the middle, and that'll be the first base hit for Big Train. Logan Ponnet, single right over second base.
Great job to get the first hit and base runner of the game there for Ponnet as he stays hot. But the
Talking
first,
about the Marist Red Foxes.
So he goes, I think they're the Red Wolves. We checked, they were the Red Foxes. And then the second one was where a town in New York was. I thought it was upstate. He thought it was on Long Island.
Okay.
And it was on Long Island. So that was the one he got right.
I'll tell you what, I am very good with Division I mascots. I can tell you pretty much all of them. Square around a bunt. It's Matt Wesley, excuse me. Parker Corbin on deck, but fouled the bunt back. So down 0-1.
I'd like to think I'm pretty good at college mascots as well, but I agreed. I said I also think it's the Red Wolves. It's Arkansas State.
Yep.
Arkansas State's the Red Wolves.
And one of my nerdier facts is I can name all 364 D1 mascots. If you give me the school, I can tell you what their mascot is. Squaring around a bunt again. This time takes a ball on a back pick, not in time to get Ponnet, who was well off the bag at first.
So we will be testing that.
That's fine.
I will, at least, throughout the season. Because I think I know a lot of them. I don't think I know all of them.
I would be happy to put it to the test.
Okay.
Well, that's one of the things I'm ashamed of to say to most people and proud of to say in a sports context. 1-1 from Miller. Decides to pick off to first. A little bit worried about Ponnet over there on the first base bag. Ponnet did not play 2025, so no stolen bases to his name. 1-1 is grounded up the middle, double play depth, and it bounces off the glove of second baseman Nolan Cutney. So instead of a double play, it'll be runners on first and second and nobody out.
Yeah, that ball took a very high hop off the front lip of the grass and the dirt right in front of second base. It did hit off the glove of Cutney, so that is going to be ruled an error, but that was a tough play to make. And in these first couple games, the Big Train have just had a lot of just unlucky hops. They get the benefit of the doubt there, and this is their best chance to push across this tying run with 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty routine double play, hit right over the second base bag. It looked like Cutney was going to be able to step on second and throw over to first. Instead, 2 on, no out for Parker Corbin, who's still seeking out his first hit with Big Train. Takes ball 1 low. Corbin, RBI in each of the first 2 games, but no hits. Flew out to center to end the second inning. Squares around a bunt and takes ball 2.
And I do like the idea of laying down a bunt here. You're chasing a run. You haven't gotten much to go all day. When you're threatening, get 2 runners into scoring position with only the 1 out. Ultimately, you only need 1 run to tie this game back up.
Especially with Skoronski on deck. He's moved down from the cleanup spot to the 7th spot, but he lengthens the lineup a little bit. Miller spins around and lobs one near second base. Over to his shortstop, Josh Hurd.
Yeah, the shortstop wasn't even covering the bag. He just threw it to the shortstop in the shortstop spot. And now I think that
might be a ball.
I think it might be. The home plate umpire got out of his crouch and conferred with the base umpire, but the base umpire is shaking his head. I think by rule that might supposed to be a balk.
I'm not sure. I don't think you have to throw it when you spin inside. 2-0, bunt still squared, and it's bunted foul. by Parker Corbin. I think when you do an inside move to second base, you're not required to throw the ball.
I'm not saying you're required to throw the ball. I think you have to throw the ball to a base.
If you do throw it, he did kind of, you're right.
He threw it to the shortstop sitting in the shortstop spot. I think by rule that should be a balk.
Yeah, the umpires, the home plate umpire stepped out from behind home plate as if to call it, and then looked at the second base umpire and said, "It's your call." And he nodded and did not make the call. Bunt is down and foul again, so now 2 strikes. Parker Corbin fouled off a pair of bunts over the third base side. Both were decently well placed, but just a little on the wrong side of the chalk.
And balk rules are very weird, so I could be completely wrong about that because there's just a lot of really, like I've been an umpire, I still don't know all the balk rules. There are umpires in the MLB that don't even know what a balk is. So feel free to correct me on that.
I'm not 100% sure either. I feel like
that was
you're
directed
right.
towards the chat, not necessarily towards you.
Okay.
That was towards everybody.
We'll go back and read through it later, see if we can figure out whether we were right or wrong. 2-2 count to Corbin, and he swings and misses. So a big strikeout for Liam Miller. The first swinging strikeout of the day for Big Train. And it'll be 2 on and 1 out for Josh Skoronsky, who ended the last inning with a rocket from right field to home plate to cut down Brady Grimes.
A quick Google search says, yes, a pickoff move in baseball must be directed towards a base. A pitcher can only throw a ball while in contact with the pitching arbor. That's just, it starts to talk about what a balk is, but I think, yes, you do have to throw it to an actual base.
So I guess the ruling there, and he does it
He
again.
did it again. He just did it again. That should be a balk.
I think the umpires are saying that because shortstop Josh Hurd is drifting towards the bag as the ball gets lobbed, it doesn't count. But it is certainly a questionable play at minimum.
He's just playing a little catch with his shortstop. He's not even close to the base.
First pitch, swing and a miss. On the move is Ponnett. Ball gets into left field, and Bethesda Big Train will tie this game at 1. Logan Ponnett making things happen with his legs. That'll be a stolen base and an error by the catcher. Up to second is Wesley, and Big Train is in business here in the top of the 5th.
A little bit of a lapse here from the T-Bolt defense. 2 errors have pushed across the tying run. The throw definitely would have beaten Ponnett at third. Just the third baseman, Curry, really couldn't pick it. I think that's more of an error on him than the catcher. But ultimately, the run does come across, and we're all knotted up.
Skoronsky now hitting runner on second, base open. 1-0 count, and ball's low. And Wesley comes way off the bag at second, and a throw down bounces into the glove of Josh Hurd. Wesley, I think, was reading that as a dirt ball and was going to try to take third. A really good block by Jack McCarthy holds him at second. Big Train still looking for their first win of the 2025 season. A year ago, started off 3-0 for losing 3 in a row early in June, ended up winning the league.
I mentioned this yesterday, though. They won the league, finishing June with a losing record. They were at one point where I believe it was 12-15 before they rattled off their last 9 regular season games.
2-0 is a curveball in for a strike. I believe they finished June 12-12, but they did have a losing record starting in July, and then finished off. I think they won 14 of their last 16 games, or some crazy number like that.
I think it was their last 13.
Something like that. I think you're right. 1-2 to Skoronsky is fouled away. I thought it was a 2-1, but the scoreboard and the stats read 1-2, so evidently I was wrong there.
The scoreboard operator's been a little iffy today.
In and out. It does say that Big Train scored their 1 run in the top of the 4th, and I'm 1,000% sure we're in the top of the 5th. So
those multiple times I looked over and it was wrong.
Another ball gets away. A ball inside escapes McCarthy's glove. Over to third is Wesley, so 90 feet away from a leading run are the Big Train.
And it is paramount that Skoronsky makes some sort of contact in this at bat. You don't want to strand a runner on third with 1 out, because once you get to 2 outs, you need a hit to score that guy from third. So any ball in play should score Wesley from third.
T-Bolts are going to pull the corners in. Middle infield is back. Worried about the speed of Wesley. I think probably concerned they aren't going to get him either way if the ball's hit to second or short. 3-1, swing and a miss. 3-2, excuse me, swing and a miss. Strike 3 to Josh Skaronski. And a big punch out for Miller, who's now 1 out away from escaping this inning.
And it's just a bad swing from Skaronski, not the result you want swinging at a pitch in the dirt when you needed a ball in play to get that runner home from third.
So back-to-back strikeouts for Liam Miller, who has settled down after allowing leadoff single and then the E4 to start the inning. Emilio Gonzalez is to the plate and hits one high and deep to right, but it's hooking foul. That ball cleared the fence.
That ball definitely had home run distance. It's only 315 feet down the line in right, and that ball went, I think, easily 350, 370.
I think you're right.
But just foul.
Disappeared over the tree line, but hooked it, got a little out in front, and all that for a long strike 1.
I think you're going to see Miller come outside with these next couple pitches.
This one is low for ball 1. Count even to Gonzalez.
I would not come back inside after a loud strike like that. I think you're going to see a lot of soft stuff away.
I would tend to agree with you. I think if he goes inside, it's going to be a mistake, and Gonzalez is going to take advantage. 1-1 is high to the backstop, and the run will come in. So a couple of wild pitches allows Wesley to advance from second all the way home, and Big Train has their first lead of the game. It's 2-1.
Great job there of just getting around the bases. Every 90 feet you move up, it's just a greater chance that you're going to eventually score a run on a mistake being at third as opposed to second there for Wesley. Able to get him home, and the Big Train have their first lead of the game.
Big Train playing some small ball here, just a single and an E4. And that ball's lined the other way and hard into left, but playable and caught at the shoestrings by Gabe Ruiz, who looked like he had a beat on it and then had to break in at the last second, but does make the catch. And the top of the 5th is over, but not before Big Train gets on the board. First base runner, first 2 base runners, first 2 runs. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Big Train leads 2-1. Bottom of the 5th here at Blair High School. T-Bolts trying to counter after Big Train put 2 runs up in the top of the 5th. Adetuyi still on the mound for Bethesda. Second inning of work allowed the first run of the game in the bottom of the 4th. Walked a couple batters, gave up a couple hits, and was bailed out by his right fielder Josh Skaronski, who gunned down a runner at the plate. First pitch to Sturdivant at the top of the lineup is a strike.
This will be the first time the top of the lineup has seen Adetuyi, working now in his second inning. Gave up 1 run off of 2 walks and 2 hits, but he was lucky that's all that he gave up.
Another pitch. This one bounced off the foot of Sturdivant, fouled off the foot of Sturdivant, I should say. So quickly ahead Adetuyi, quickly ahead 0-2 after struggling with command in his first inning of work.
Yeah, like we said, the key today has been to avoid the walks. The Big Train have only surrendered 4 through 4 innings, which isn't the greatest, but also an improvement from their last couple of games.
No hit by pitches. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike him out. Atatui gets his first punch out of the game.
And the third strikeout of Sturdivant in this game. That fastball had a lot of east to west run. It started down the middle and sort of tailed towards the end. A lot of RPMs on that fastball from Atatui, not just straight down the middle.
Yeah, he's been throwing that two-seam fastball with impunity in this game. First inning was missing a lot, arm side. That time was able to locate it over the plate and get a swing and a miss. This time starts off Aiden Driscoll with a breaking ball outside.
He's the only Thunderbolt batter to reach in both of his first 2 at-bats, a single in the first, a walk in the third.
1-0 is in for a strike, so count even at 1.
And a lot of bite on that slider, too. Driscoll sort of leaned back a little bit, thought that was going to be a fastball coming inside.
Atatui back to working quickly. 1-1. And his fastball right down the pipe for strike 2.
Knock on wood, but a lot better location in this inning than last.
Yeah, back to what he wants to do, which is work quickly with nobody on. And a strike 3 froze Aiden Driscoll with a slider. And 2 quick punch-outs for Atatui.
Yeah, he buckled him really badly the first time he threw it. Thought, why not go back to the well? And it works out perfectly. 2 strikeouts at the top of the order, which is huge so far for the Train.
Gabe Ruiz steps to the plate, made the shoestring catch in the top half. Now swings through strike 1.
I was surprised he even got to that ball. He got a really bad read on it. He started going back, and the ball kind of died. So coming up forward, he had to reach down. I was surprised he got back to it in time.
0-1 is low from Atatui. Yeah, it looked like he had a read on it based on how, calmly he was moving, but it ended up being a really not great read and had to break at the last second. He fouls the 1-1 back. But ultimately what matters is you make the catch, and he did make the catch. Now behind 1-2. Atatui looking for his 3rd strikeout of the inning. He sets, he kicks, he deals, and he gets it. Atatui strikes out the side with efficiency. We go to the top of the 6th. Big Train still leads 2-1. new arm on the mound for the T-Bolts, Jake Treasure from Stevenson University. 11 appearances, 8 starts, 0-8 record. 7.02 ERA, 30 strikeouts, 12 walks, but a 3.58 batting average against.
0-8 record is rough. Not a lot of run support for him. I mean, even with the 7 ERA, you'd think he'd luck into 1 win.
Or not 8 losses. That's a lot of his games lost. Hawk bounces the first one, and it gets through. That should be a base hit. Hits off the glove of Nolan Cutney, but that was going to be a tough play either way. We'll see what they score it, and they do score a single.
I agree with that.
Pretty confidently.
I think that was going to be a tough play. Even if he came up with it, that was going to be a tough play. He was deep onto the outfield grass. I agree with. Because as an infielder or outfielder, when you have more range, it actually creates a greater opportunity for errors. Because like if he had no range and that ball just gets through, it's easily a single. Good range there from the second baseman Cutney. Gets off his glove, and I have the debate. Is it a hit or an in?
Squares around a bunt is Alex Peltier. Takes strike one, pulled it back. But the curveball was in for a strike. Treasure, a southpaw, which Big Train, as we've talked about extensively, has struggled with so far this season. Peltier, though, right-handed hitter. And another off-speed pitch. Check swing did not go, so count evens up at 1. Peltier in his first game of the season, coming straight from College World Series with East Carolina. One count, squares to bunt again and takes ball 2.
And Peltier was a force for East Carolina in one of their playoff games against the Florida Gators. He had a 2 RBI single.
One to Peltier, squares to bunt again, and takes strike 2.
Now, I don't know if that was a called strike or a strike on the swing. I think it was a called strike. That one looked a little bit down, but also Peltier was late getting back a little bit. I think you could have called that either way.
I was about to say the same thing. It was hard to tell, especially from where we're sitting, whether the bat came back and whether the ball was in the zone. But regardless, a 2-2 count. Quick pick off to check on Hawk. Nothing doing. Walks back into first. 2-2 to Peltier as Treasure stares in to get his sign, taking his time. Delivers and a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Peltier. I believe that was foul tipped into the mitt, but regardless, he goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Peltier today. 0 for 3 now. And that brings up Brendan Wright.
A lot of dip on that slider from Jake Treasure. That ball just disappeared from Peltier.
Right 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking last time up, and he hits one hard through the left side. That'll be a single. Hawk over to second. So the Big Train bats starting to wake up here in the middle innings. 3 hits now in the last 2 innings.
Yeah, and Wright doing a great job to stay back on that outside slider. Saw it a decent way through the zone, not trying to get too aggressive on it, just gets the barrel to the ball and punches it to the opposite field. That's the type of hitter he is. He's not going to try to overpower you with pulling anything. He's going to punch it through where he can and get on base with his speed.
It's probably the hardest hit ball from Big Train all day.
Other than the foul ball by Gonzalez that almost got out.
Right. First pitch now to Martinez is lined sharply into center, but under it is Sturdivant, who makes the grab, and no runners will advance. That ball was maybe hit even harder than the last one. But
yeah, I think that's now the hardest fair ball that we've seen in this game. That ball was tattooed out to center.
Just right at Caleb Sturdivant, who moved maybe 4 steps to make that grab.
Although with 2 on, 2 out, I don't think I'd want anyone else other than Ponnet at the plate, because he's been probably the hottest hitter on the Big Train so far.
Now, Logan Ponnet had the first hit and the first run for Big Train, also stole a base. Grand slam on Wednesday and 2 hits yesterday. Treasure makes a pickoff move. Still trying to get Hawk. Worried about the catcher over at second base. Ponnet leading the team in RBIs. Obviously, season still barely underway. First pitch to Ponnet is outside for ball 1. 1-0 upon it is low for ball 2. Big Train went 5-1 against the T-Bolts last year. Last year, the T-Bolts were the worst pitching team in the league by far, and they have replaced almost their entire pitching staff while retaining the majority of their hitters. So clearly, they liked what they had on the offensive side of the ball and needed a renaissance on the pitching side. And so far today, with the exception of that 5th inning, they've been exceptionally sharp.
Yeah, they've yet to give up an earned run. 3 innings of 3 perfect innings from Domaraki, and then Liam Miller with some tough luck. 2 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs. Neither one were earned, though, so they could be a force if they really improve that pitching.
2-0 is grounded to short. Erd will go the short way to second, and that'll do it for the top half of the 6th. Big Train strands 2, and we go to the bottom half. Back for the bottom half of the 6th. Atatui still on the mound after a shaky first inning. Really locked in in the 5th. Struck out the side. 3 strikeouts swinging.
Yeah, talk about a revival or just a flip of the script for Atatui. He mowed down the top 3 hitters, too, Sturdivant, Driscoll, and Ruiz.
Threw just 13 pitches as well. His first pitch is grounded to third. Ponnet coming in, catches it on a short hop, throws off the back foot, and retires McCarthy easily. A really nice play from Logan Ponnet, who is flashing the leather over at third today.
Yeah, and Atatui with a big smile on his face gave a nice little fist pump to Ponnet over there at third. That was a tough play on a very quick hop. Those are some of the hardest picks to make because you can't even really look. It's so quick. You just kind of put the glove down and whip it up. But Atatui very appreciative of his third baseman.
First pitch to Cutney is a swing and a miss. Cutney walked back in the 4th, Atatui's first inning of work. And Ponet's got 4.53 assists in this game, in just 6 innings. Add that to the fact that Big Train has 9 Ks of T-Bolts hitters. There haven't been a lot of options as Cutney fouls the 0-1 off. There haven't been a lot of opportunities for fielders to make plays, but when there have been, they've all been going to Logan Ponnet.
Yeah, the Charlotte, what's their mascot, Mr. Man?
The 49ers.
Good work, good work. But yeah, he's been great over there at third. A lot of really impressive plays.
0-2, and he goes down swinging. Cutney goes down on 3 pitches. Hawk throws him out at first. Ball was in the dirt.
I thought I was going to get you there. That's a tough one, I feel like.
That is a tough one.
I did know that one, but I feel like that's one not a lot of people know.
That is a tough one.
It's kind of weird, though, because like the San Francisco 49ers are because people moved to California for the gold rush. I don't really understand what Charlotte has.
Yeah, I have to do some research on that, or maybe ask Logan. That ball is lined into right. Bryce Curry going after the first pitch, but handled easily by Skoronski. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Atatui. That'll do it for the middle innings. I will pass the play-by-play back to Quincy for the late innings. Big Train still on
Bef-
top,
before,
2-1.
Before we go, the Charlotte 49ers are named the 49ers because they were founded in the year 1949.
Pretty easy, kind of a cheapskate way to get out of naming a mascot, in my opinion. But regardless, that'll do it for the 6th. Quincy will take over play-by-play. We head to the 7th.
Day is slowly turning into night here in Silver Spring, Maryland. The moon is out. Looks like a waxing gibbous phase up there above right field. As Matthew Wesley steps in to lead off the inning in the top half of the 7th for the Big Train as they lead the Thunderbolts 2-1.
Gotta say, I've never been on a broadcast that has discussed the phase of the moon.
Thought I would throw that one in there. First pitch is down and away from Jake Treasure, who is on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. Pitched a scoreless 6th, although he did get into trouble, giving up multiple hits to Wright and Hawk. That ball fouled away into the dirt by Wesley, and the count is 1-1.
Wesley, a veteran of the Cal Ripken Collegiate Baseball League, 3rd season playing in the Ripken League. Played with the Metro South County Braves back in 23, and then last year with Big Train.
Fastball just runs a bit outside to Wesley, and he's ahead in the count 2-1. One run was scored in the 4th by the Thunderbolts. They were denied a second by a strong throw home from Skaronski. That ball popped up foul. The count will remain at 2-2. The Big Train were able to push across 2 runs in the top half of the 5th, courtesy of a couple of errors by the Thunderbolts. Both of those runs were unearned to the line of Liam Miller. He has now handed the ball off to Jake Treasure, who delivers a fastball outside, and the count is full on Matthew Wesley.
Yeah, it was the one error, and then it was 2 wild pitches. Actually, it was 2 errors. Change it because the throw down to 3rd.
Ground ball to short. Erd cannot get it. It's through his glove. And there's a 3rd error committed by the T-Bolts. Speak of the devil.
Yeah, so back in the 5th, it was a E4 on a ground ball, and then a throwing error when Ponnet tried to steal, and then 2 wild pitches were really what allowed Wesley to come around and score. Wesley's now reached on both of the in-play errors.
Well, it was errors that cost the Big Train that game yesterday because they made one error that allowed 4 runs to eventually score on a play that would have ended the inning. That's a curveball in on Patrick Corbin, who shows bunt. And then 2 passed balls, which I know don't count as errors, but they don't count as earned runs either. 2 passed balls allowed 2 crop duster runners to score. But the Big Train have sewn up the defense today. They've been a lot better. 0-1 swung on and missed on a high inside fastball by Corbin, and he's quickly behind 0-2. But a little bit of a role reversal. It's been the Thunderbolts who have been making the errors. 3 on them now. And the Big Train have been very solid, defensively, especially Ponnet at 3rd. 0-2. Slider just misses outside by Treasure. The count is 1-2 on Patrick Corbin.
Parker Corbin. You're referring to the ex-national.
Oh,
Although I'm sure Big Train fans, those of whom who are Nats fans, remember him fondly.
My bad. I'm a little bit of a name slip for me. And he takes strike 3.
And on the topic of Patrick Corbin, he went a complete game lost today. 8 innings,
Wow.
2 earned runs. The Rangers lost 2-0 to the Nationals.
Wow.
In Corbin's return to DC. So talk about a good miscue by you to bring that up.
It's never good to misput a name, but tough day for Patrick Corbin. 8 innings. Yeah, that's tough. A complete game loss is not great.
I saw Paul Skeens took one of those a couple weeks ago, and now Corbin, who's really been pitching well in Texas, taking one in DC.
First pitch to Skoronsky is a fastball that misses high. Runner goes for second. Late jump, throw down, not in time. The throw was a little bit high, and Wesley steals second.
Yeah, delayed steal by Wesley, who waited until Treasure was headed towards the plate instead of going on first move, which is more common, I think, at the collegiate level against left-handed pitchers, and caught the middle infield napping as both Erd and Cudney kind of reacted late towards the base, and Wesley was able to slide in safely.
1-0 on Skoronsky, trying to put one into the outfield and score. The runner from second, he takes a slider right down the plate. Count is now even at 1-1.
So a lot of small ball by Big Train today, and so far this season. And no extra base hits today, none yesterday, but creating with singles, errors, and able to steal bases and cause commotion on the base paths.
Back pick to second. Wesley is out. He got caught napping over there at second, took a little bit too big of a lead. And that's not what you want to see in a one-run game, have a guy in scoring position get picked off.
Well, there you go with the announcer's jinx again, or there I go with the announcer's jinx again. Talking about the commotion that Big Train has caused on the base paths, forced a throwing error, a couple of wild pitches. This time, Wesley gets caught sleeping.
So now there's nobody on for Skoronsky. 1-1 count and 2 outs. He takes a slider just beneath the knees for a ball. Yeah, that is just not something you want to see getting picked off in scoring position. 2-1 to Skoronsky. Lined up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. So that run most likely would have scored from second, but now Skoronsky will just sit on first with 2 outs after his single.
Good job by Skoronsky. 2 strikes, able to stay back on that baseball and just drive it calmly up the middle. But as you said, that run with the way that ball was hit, almost certainly Wesley's coming around to score with his speed, and Big Train missing out on a chance to extend their lead, at least for now, with the powerful Emilio Gonzalez up, certainly able to pick up extra bases.
Lefty-lefty matchup for the FAU owl. He takes a fastball just outside for ball 1.
Last time out, when we talked about it, Gonzalez hit that towering fly ball just foul. That was against the righty Miller, but obviously we know he has the pop in his bat to do damage.
He pops one up foul down the left field line. So he's behind in the count 1-2. And Treasure 1 strike away from getting out of the top half of the 7th and getting this game back into the hands of his offense. Skoronsky leads off of first. Kick in the fire. Fastball just misses up.
Well, not a bad miss from Treasure. Fastball at the letters, trying to get Gonzalez to swing under it.
Kick in the fire. Swing and a miss on the slider by Gonzalez. Pulled his head a little bit. And that slider just dropped out from underneath him. The count is now 2-2. Skoronsky leads off of first. The lefty Treasure looks in, nods that he has his sign, comes set at the belt. Kicks and delivers. Fastball at the knees, called strike 3 on Emilio Gonzalez. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom half of the 7th. Big Train still holding on to a 1-run lead. 2-1 the lead in favor of the Bethesda Big Train as we head to the bottom half of the 7th. There's a new pitcher to tell you about for the Big Train. It's a fellow Charlotte 49er of the third baseman Logan Pond, and it will be Tanner Kaler out to take care of the 7th. He is a junior from Concord, North Carolina. He throws left, is 6'1", 195 pounds. His last season at UNC Charlotte had a 4.05 ERA in 14 games, 8 walks to 7 strikeouts, had a 1.65 whip, and averaged 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. He will work to the bottom of the T-Bolt order, 7, 8, and 9. Brady Grimes leading it off from the right-hand side. He swings and misses at a fastball right down the middle for strike 1.
Well, you said 14 appearances, only 6.2 innings pitched, so more of a lefty-on-lefty specialist in late-game situations for Kaler. A pair of saves and a win.
He's a type of guy where you get one out with the bases loaded and there's a lefty up. He delivers a fastball outside. He's going to probably take on a lot bigger of a role for the Big Train as opposed to Charlotte, because head coach Sal Colangelo is putting him out there in the 7th inning with a one-run game.
And 3 righties due up.
This is definitely a pressure spot as the Big Train look for their first win on the year. He delivers a slider right down the middle for strike 2. One, two. Outside corner, called strike 3. Beautiful backdoor slider. And Grimes is down on strikes.
A really good pitch from Kaler, who threw back-to-back great breaking balls. First one dropped in right down the middle of the zone, but late break that time sneaks it in the back door and gets his first punch out of the season.
Steve Thomas will now step in. He grounded out to third in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. The righty waggling the bat, awaits the pitch. It's a fastball just down and out from Kaler. Kaler has 2 siblings, Terry and Austin. He once threw a perfect game in high school. Not something you see too often, even in the high school levels. He runs one inside on Thomas, but he's just able to jump out of the way.
I'll tell you what, Steve Thomas, hitting 8th, has picked up some of the swag of Josh Erd hitting on deck, as now he's wearing his pants baggy and at the shins, which I'm sure he wasn't doing in the first inning.
2-0. Fastball catches the outer half for a strike. Yeah, you're right. I guess over the course of the game, the pants have sort of sagged down a little bit from when they were hiked up really high.
Yep.
It's definitely a very unique style to have just a few inches of your socks showing. 2-1 the count. Kick and the delivery from Kaler. Swing and a miss on the changeup. That ball dropped out on the outer half for strike 2. Erd waits on deck wearing the same socks. I'm pretty sure that's why you mentioned it, because they're standing right next to each other.
And I only noticed it because they're standing right next to each other.
2-2. Kaler looking for his second straight strikeout out of the bullpen. Comes sit at the belt. Kicks and delivers. Fastball just misses the outer half of the zone, and the count will now run full on Steve Thomas. This has been a delightful change of pace for Big Train fans in terms of the pitching today. They gave up 12 runs to the Grays on opening night and 10 runs to the Crop Dusters yesterday. Only 1 run through the first 6 innings. Full count payoff. Slider catches the back door again. Kaler with back-to-back looking strikeouts.
Yeah, and the same pitch more or less as the strikeout to retire Grimes. A curveball or slider on the outside corner that broke back in on the back door and froze both hitters, both Grimes and Thomas, in that right-handed batter's box. That time Thomas was on his way down to first before he got punched out.
Josh Erd will now dig in. Has grounded out and singled today. He's 1 for 2. First pitch is a fastball that just dips below the zone for ball 1. Erd hitting out of Frederick Community College in 2025. He hit .338 with a .500 on base. Kind of surprised he's hitting out of the 9-hole today for the Thunderbolts. He swings and misses at a slider that bounces in the dirt for strike 1.
Yeah, remarkably, he walked 37 times and only struck out 23 times. He also scored 63 runs in 52 games. So just setting the table at the top of the lineup, as you mentioned, got on base half the time he went to the plate and scored a considerable amount.
That is someone who is a disciplined hitter. If you walk considerably more than you strike out, That's pretty impressive. 1-1. Fastball just misses the outer edge. And the count is 2-1 on Erd. The top of the order looms after him as Caleb Sturdivant is sitting on deck. Kaler trying to make sure the lineup doesn't get to that point, but he delivers another fastball just outside, and Erd has a 3-1 count. Kaler coming set, trying not to lose the 9-hole. Comes to the belt. Now fires. Slider catches the outer half. Full count, 2 outs, 2-1. The Big Train lead. The Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. And Tanner Kaler 1 strike away from striking out the side and getting this game back into the hands of the Big Train offense. Full count payoff. Slider backdoor. That one just misses.
Same pitch as the last two. And that time just a little off the plate. I think that was the right call. I do believe that was a ball. But showing a lot of confidence in that backdoor slider, which is a really tough pitch to execute. Got 2 strikeouts looking. Got another take, that time just slightly off the plate.
And a good job of spitting on that one by Erd. Like we said, walks more than he strikes out. That's a very disciplined at-bat to put up with 2 outs to get the tying run on base. First pitch to the leadoff man, Sturdivant, is fouled out of play behind the first base dugout. So now Erd sits at first. He was only 5 for 8 on stolen bases. So not really a threat to try to take a base and get into scoring position. Kaler does have to make sure he doesn't bounce one to the wall here. Slider just misses beneath the knees.
It's a good miss. It's a very competitive pitch. That slider sharp. That time not trying to backdoor. That time trying to sneak it kind of towards that back knee of Sturdivant.
1-1 Erd. Barely any of a lead off of first. Fastball runs high and inside on Sturdivant. Count is 2-1. The sky is almost completely black here in Silver Spring, Maryland. A dark blue shade it has turned with not a single cloud in the sky. Fastball misses outside, and the count is 3-1 on Sturdivant. After 2 quick-looking strikeouts to start this bottom half of the 7th, Josh Erd draws a walk. Sturdivant in danger of doing the same. Tanner Kaler, the Charlotte 49er, comes set. Comes to the plate. Another backdoor slider. This one catches the zone. So the count is now full, and Erd will have a head start from first with a full count and 2 outs. Kaler 1 strike away from a hold and a clean 7th inning. Takes a deep breath, now kicks and delivers. Erd is up for second, swing and a miss on the slider from Sturdivant. 3 strikeouts to a lonely walk for Tanner Kaler in his first inning out of the bullpen. The Big Train still lead it 2-1 as we head to the top of the 8th. The T-Bolts and Big Train locked in a battle here as we head to the 8th. It'll be E.J. Youngblood out of Moravian University who will take over the pitching for the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. He's the 4th pitcher they will have used. Final line for Jake Treasure, a strong one. 2 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no earned, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. The Thunderbolts have yet to walk a Big Train hitter in this game. Jacob Hawk, the leadoff man, lines one through the left side for a base hit. First pitch attacking the new guy out of the bullpen, and he's on with a leadoff single.
And that is the second time that Jacob Hawk has attacked a new pitcher's first pitch and picked up a single. He's gone after first pitch each of the last 2 times at the plate and succeeded both times.
So the Big Train now looking for some insurance as Alex Peltier steps to the plate.
We were talking about this over the break. The T-Bolts haven't walked anyone yet.
Peltier shows Bond. He misses it for strike 1.
T-Bolts haven't walked anyone yet, so the scouting report right now for Big Train is attack early, since you're not likely to work a walk late in counts. T-Bolts have been really effective at staying in the strike zone late in counts, even when they get to 3-ball counts, and Hawk taking that to heart.
Peltier shows bunt again, takes a curveball high. And we talked about how the T-Bolts revamped their entire pitching staff and kept most of their hitters from last year. They were the worst team in the league last year, finishing at 12-24. But if this is how they're going to consistently pitch, they could be a team to be reckoned with. But the Big Train have the lead off of 2 unearned runs that were scored in the 5th. Peltier this time gets the bunt down, and it will slowly roll foul.
That one was in fair territory and then hit off the lip on the inside, on the fair side of the third base line, and rolled foul off it. So a little bit of an unlucky bounce for Peltier.
He will stay in the box with a 1-2 count. He won't be showing bunt anymore, I imagine, because if he were to foul one, it would be a strikeout. Hawk the runner on first. 2-1 Big Train, nobody out. Top half of the 8th. 1-2 from Youngblood. Misses just outside. Youngblood with a sort of sidearm, 3/4 style motion. A little bit like a right-handed Chris Sale.
14 appearances at Moravian University. 0-2, 5.65 ERA.
Checks the runner at first, now comes to the plate. Fastball on the outer corner. The catcher, McCarthy, thought that was strike 3. He popped up, looked like he had the K, but it just missed the outer edge. Peltier now has a full count. We'll see if Hawk maybe tries to go and stay out of a double play with nobody out. He does not go. Peltier chops one slowly back to the mound. Youngblood off the mound gets it, throws to first, and our umpire originally said safe, and then he pumped his fist. He gave 2 different calls, and it's going to be the second call of out that stands, and Peltier will be headed back to the dugout, and head coach Sal Colangelo is out of the dugout. He's asking for an appeal with our plate umpire.
Yeah, immediately Sal popped out of the dugout. It looked to me like that was it looked like he was going to call safe and then kind of realized he was out. And in my opinion, he was out and kind of changed his motion at the last second. Certainly, he is a very vicious out call. Very.
So our base umpire is talking to Sal, and he is motioning. He has both of his fists up, sort of like a boxing stance, and he said he threw them out. He threw both of the fists out and then brought one of them forward. I don't believe that for a second. He had his hands flat when he gave that call. I believe that he called him safe and then changed his mind.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think he was out. I think
he was out.
Peltier was out.
I think that the umpire is maybe like
realized he was wrong.
Realized he was wrong, then called him out. But when he was talking to Sal, he said he always called him out. Which is what you have to say.
You do have to say it.
As someone who's umpired before, you do make mistakes like that. But when you talk to a coach, you have to sound confident. I'm not blaming him at all. That's just something that you have to do as an umpire because you're not going to be, no umpire is perfect. You're going to have a close call like that. The count is 0-1 on Brennan Wright after he fouled one back on the first pitch. He takes a slider on the outer half for a ball. That pitch just missed.
Well, lost in the controversy is the fact that even with 2 strikes, Peltier effectively bunted. It was a swing, but he hit it about 6 feet and Youngling had to come off the mound and make the play, and he did advance the runner a second. So an effective at-bat for Peltier.
fouled away. Count is 1-2. Yeah, Youngling, 14 1/3 innings pitched, 0-2 with a 5.65 ERA at Moravian University. He hails from Fredericksburg, Maryland. The righty comes set, 1-2 count on Brennan Wright. Kick and the fire. Fastball misses outside.
Stands at 6'3". Listed at 6'3". I don't think he doesn't look 6'3" to me compared to Liam Miller, who was out there for the T-Bolts in the 4th and 5th. Looks to be about his same height. He's listed at 6 foot flat. So one of these websites is not telling the truth.
2-2. Fastball runs up and in on Wright, but he's able to foul it back. Count is still 2-2. We have a lot of pitchers duels around the Cal Ripken Collegiate League. The DC Grays and Alexandria Aces tied at 1-1. The Metro South County Braves lead the Southern Maryland Senators 2-1, and the only Crop Dusters lead the Gaithersburg Giants 7-3. So normally you see a lot of runs in collegiate summer leagues, but not today. Slider just left a little bit upstairs to Brennan Wright, and the count will now run full.
Big Train will travel to Gaithersburg tomorrow for the final game of their 3-game road trip. The only time this season that they will play 3 consecutive road games. Gaithersburg, the only other team winless to start this season and trailing 7-3, as you said.
Full count to righty, grounds one slowly towards second. Cutney makes the throw, coming towards the plate. Moving up to third is Hawk, but with 2 outs, it'll take a hit from John Martinez to score him. The Big Train trying to make sure they don't go to Gaithersburg winless. They could make sure that's not the case with a win today.
That would leapfrog them right back into second place in the division. Obviously, season's still very young, but a win here put them at 1-2 and just behind Olney, who's a couple outs away from starting 3-0.
Martinez loops one into shallow left, not able to make the catches. Diving to his backside. The ball gets down into left, and Hawk crosses from third. The Big Train push across an insurance run. It's 3-1.
Yeah, again, Big Train going after the first pitch. This time, John Martinez, little flare, didn't hit it super hard, but got it over the outstretched glove of the pretty short Josh at shortstop and picks up an RBI.
Yeah, twisting around. Had a little bit of trouble locating that ball. He tried to dive over his shoulder, but just out of his reach. And ultimately, when you put the ball in play, there's a chance that it gets down. And Martinez, with his first hit of the day, he's now 1 for 4, but he has a very crucial RBI. Ponnett now steps in. He has a 1-0 count after an outside ball. Pickoff over to first by Youngling, but Martinez is back.
And first RBI of the day for a Big Train hitter.
It's the first earned run
Yeah.
allowed also.
First 2 runs scored on a catcher throwing error on a stolen base and then a wild pitch back in the 5th.
1-0. There goes Martinez for second. Popped foul out of play by Ponnett, so the hit and run was on. And I do like that with 2 outs, trying to push the envelope a little bit. Because Martinez has speed at first to where even if that ball was way out or missed by Ponnett, he could get to second. And then you got a guy in scoring position. So I do like the idea of a hit and run, especially with 2 outs, because you don't risk getting doubled up. 1-1. Youngling comes to the plate. It's high over the head of Ponnett, but are they going to say that's
it hit his bat?
It hit his bat. I thought it did. I didn't have a great angle of it, but he wasn't able to get his bat down. So that's a very unlucky strike there. The count is now 1-2.
And you mentioned the hit and run. Big Train scoring another run on small ball in this inning. A single swinging bunt, ground ball to the right side, and then another hit scored it.
Martinez off for second again. This ball popped up in the air. Medium deep center. Sturdivant has a beat on it. He puts 2 hands on the catch to retire the side, but not before 1 run crosses on 1 hit, no errors. 1 runner left on base. The Big Train now lead it by 2 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th. The Big Train able to push across an insurance run in the top half of the 8th. They now lead at 3-1. And the home squad, the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts, down to their last 6 outs. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 due up. Driscoll, Ruiz, and McCarthy. First pitch from Tanner Kaler to Driscoll is a slider at the knees, called a strike.
Kaler picking up where he left off with that slider in the strike zone that he got a couple of punch outs looking with back in the 7th.
The lefty deals to the left-handed hitting Driscoll. This fastball just misses high for a ball.
Driscoll reached 3 times in Wednesday's season opener, scored a run, did strike out twice.
The Big Train still looking for their first win at 0-2. The Thunderbolts sit at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. So Aiden Driscoll will bring the tying run up to the plate in the form of Gabe Ruiz.
Driscoll has been on 3 times today, by far T-Bolt's most effective hitter. A couple of singles and a walk.
He's the only member of the Thunderbolts to get on base more than once, other than Josh Erd, who has a single and a walk. But Driscoll has been on 3 times. Gabe Ruiz will step to the plate. He has yet to reach base today. 2 strikeouts and a flyout for him. He does have some pop in his bat, and a home run would tie it. Runner on first, nobody out. Big Train lead the Thunderbolts 3-1 in the bottom half of the 8th. Tanner Kaler throws a pickoff move over to first, but diving back head first is Driscoll.
Gonzalez a little pump fake back to the mound and tried to catch Driscoll sleeping, but to no avail.
Ruiz into the box, waggling the bat over his head. Takes a fastball just outside for ball 1.
Ruiz 0 for 3 today, pair of strikeouts swinging and a fly out to right.
The T-Bolts have only scored 1 run. It was off of a single from Steve Thomas. This ball popped up in the air, foul out of play, but we've said this has just been a complete flip of the script for the Big Train in terms of the pitching staff. It was Drew Bellis for 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And then it was Kide Atatui for 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And now Tanner Kaler with 3 strikeouts and 1 walk, no runs in the 7th.
I think the biggest difference has been the free passes. First 2 games, Big Train issued 31 free passes between walks and hit by pitch. Today, just, I believe, 6. Just 5, actually, free passes, which is a pretty solid number for a collegiate summer league. And no hit by pitches, and none of the walks have been in pressure situations. So
2-1 count on Gabe Ruiz with a runner on first, nobody out. Pick off again to first, and again Driscoll dives back safely. Gonzalez trying to hold the tag on him while he gets up, but to no avail.
And to continue my point, yesterday Big Train allowed 10 runs. They only allowed 5 hits, but it was the 11 walks and the 5 hit by pitches that did damage alongside errors. Today, clean defense, 5 walks, no hit by pitches, and they've limited the T-Bolts to just 5 hits and 1 run.
Slider was caught at the knees for a strike. It's now 2-2 on Ruiz. Kicking the fire from Kaler. Tried to go back to the backdoor slider, but it just missed. That pitch has been lethal to right-handed hitters so far today, but that one just missed. Full count now on Ruiz. Kaler looking for the strikeout. Kick and the fire. Fastball fouled deep and out of play, well beyond the first base dugout.
See if he goes back to that outdoor breaking pitch. Backdoor breaking pitch. He's got Gabe Ruiz a little off balance here.
Driscoll with a healthy lead off of first. Ground ball slowly to first. Gonzalez has it. Race to the bag. Head first slide. And in time to the bag was Gonzalez. A little bit of a delayed call by our first base umpire. Gotta love the effort from Ruiz, but he's just not in time as Gonzalez wins the race to the bag.
Looked like Gonzalez was expecting Kaler to be over towards first. Kaler didn't really cover at all, certainly not in time, and so it was on Gonzalez to sprint over and just barely beat out the diving Gabe Ruiz.
So now Jack McCarthy will step in. Kaler steps off. And after our first base ump got grilled by Sal for being a little bit undecisive in that last inning, he made sure he took his time and made up his mind on that last call.
And what's important to note now is Big Train picked up an insurance run in the top. Runner on second here. This would have been a pressure situation. As Hawk is going to go talk to Kaler. Would have been a pressure situation. Had they not scored, it would have been the tying run in scoring position with less than 2 outs. But now, with the insurance run, Big Train, I wouldn't say safe since the tying run's still at the plate, but certainly a little more comfortable.
You got to like your chances a lot with a 2-run lead as opposed to a 1-run lead. The first pitch was a slider that missed outside, and then Hawk went to talk to Kaler. Now he's off the mound, getting some words from the Big Train dugout. Gives a thumbs up.
Especially with the way this game has gone. 2-run lead feels monumental. Just no extra base hits today. Very few free passes. Pretty clean defense by the Big Train. Got to feel good about your chances with the 3-1 lead.
Before the 1-0, time is called again by Hawk. And he just went out and talked to him, went back into the crouch, and now is talking to Kaler again.
And we saw this back in the first inning. Jack McCarthy, who is catching for the T-Bolts, fouled one away, took a really long time getting back in the box, and then immediately called time after. Now Jacob Hawk is kind of playing with McCarthy, who's at the plate, by walking out there, coming back, and walking out there again. He's really messing with his timing and momentum a little bit. Just games between catchers.
So our plate umpire motioned and said something to both dugouts. I don't know if that was a warning or what that was.
A delay of game warning of some sort?
I couldn't tell you. There hasn't really been much chirping or animosity between these teams. I doubt it was a warning. 1-0, big swing and a miss on the fastball by McCarthy. The count is now even at 1-1. There hasn't been any hit by pitches after there were 5 yesterday.
And 5 on Wednesday as well.
So I doubt it was a warning. I don't really know what he was saying. With the headphones on, I can't really hear much of the game action. Slider catches the zone. Count is now 1-2.
So what I think was happening, what our producer Gibson thinks was happening, was he went out twice in a row, which when you make 2 visits in the same inning, you have to replace the pitcher. But because he didn't squat and give signs, it didn't count.
Popped up in the air, shallow center, coming in is Peltier, and he settles under it to make the catch for the second out. But that does make sense because he just kind of stood back there and then went out. So that it could be considered the same mound visit.
One continuous visit, and I guess the umpire was just letting both dugouts know that it was one visit and they didn't have to take the pitcher out.
We've gotten pretty deep into the rule book today. We had a lengthy discussion about balks earlier. Nolan Cutney into the box. He takes a fastball on the outer half for strike 1. The Thunderbolts down to their final 4 outs. Tanner Kaler trying to pitch a clean 8th after he pitched a clean 7th. Fastball misses way outside, and Hawk had to get out of the crouch to dive over and keep that from going to the backstop.
Cutney's had a tough game, 2 strikeouts. He did walk once, but also made a costly error at second and had a potential really nice play ranging to its glove side go off his glove.
1-1, big swing and a miss out, a slider in the dirt. Cutney, a big wave. He was fooled on that pitch. And now Tanner Kaler 1 strike away from pushing this game to the 9th, still with a 2-run lead. 1-2 the count on Cutney, the UMBC product. Kaler is set, looks back the runner at second. Takes a deep breath and comes to the plate. Backdoor slider again. It's called strike 3. The 3rd time Kaler has gotten a looking strikeout courtesy of that pitch. And we head to the 9th. The Big Train still control a 2-run lead. Welcome back to the top half of the 9th. The Big Train control a 2-run lead against the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. It's Wesley, Corbin, and Skaronski due up in the 9th to try to add another insurance run. They were able to push across an insurance run in the 8th, thanks to an RBI single by John Martinez. New pitcher on the mound for the Thunderbolts is Henry Steen. He just bounced one in the dirt that got to the backstop. It's 1-0 on Wesley. Steen out of Lake Badrock High School in Springfield, Virginia. This ball chopped foul by Wesley.
5.2 innings pitched at Washington and Lee in his first year. 15.88 ERA. 3 strikeouts, 5 walks across 6 appearances.
Looking for a scoreless inning and getting this game back into the hands of his offense. This ball looped in the air to shallow right. Ranging back to make the play is the second baseman Cutney for the first out. That'll bring Parker Corbin up to the plate. Rough night for him so far, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, as he digs in against Steen.
And nobody, outside of Jacob Hawk's 2 hits, nobody for Big Train has reached twice. I guess you could make an exception for Wesley, who's reached on 2 different errors.
If your only results is an error, you're 0 for 1. So I would say that doesn't count because it doesn't help the OBP, although he has been to first twice. Fastball just misses below the knees. The count is 1-1 on Corbin.
But all that to say, nobody in the Big Train's lineup, nobody's stat line looks particularly good, but on the hitting side.
Fastball catches the inner half. Corbin gives a little bit of a face. I don't think he liked that call.
But the pitchers have carried the load here after it was kind of the offense that had been relied upon to keep the Big Train in their first 2 games.
1-2 to Corbin. Curveball fouled away.
Corbin's still looking for his first hit this season. He's now 0 for 8, has reached 4 times, but still seeking that first base knock.
He's back into the box on the left-hand side against the right-handed pitching Steen. Big swing and a miss, strike 3. Steen runs the fastball by him. That's the 3rd strikeout of the day for Corbin.
Yeah, good fastball with some ride. T-Bolts throw the ball away, trying to pepper it around the infield. Good fastball with some ride. Corbin gets pretty low in his stance and just wasn't able to catch up to the high fastball.
As someone who played a lot of left field, whenever our team would throw the ball over the third baseman's head, I normally would play really deep whenever I would play. I would just sit there and make the third baseman go get it. Like, it is not my fault that you screwed up the throw. Skaronski grounds one to first off the chest of the first baseman Grimes. It kicks really far away from him, and Skaronski will reach first. I don't know if that's gonna be a hit or an error, because that ball was hit hard.
That ball's hit hard, and more importantly, that took a really bad bounce off the lip of the infield. I'm not sure that Grimes really had a chance over there. Just the way that ball bounced. We'll see. We still are awaiting the official scoring, but the way that ball bounced, I would not be surprised if that was a hit, despite the fact that hit off his body, hit off his glove.
I would give him the hit because I think that ball was hit really hard. Big swing and a miss by Emilio Gonzalez.
Still awaiting the decision.
I'll give him the hit for now. Every scorekeeper rules things a little bit differently. An error is one of the most subjective things you can give in baseball. 0-1 the count on Emilio Gonzalez. Another big swing and a miss on a changeup that dropped away.
And they did give him a hit, so you are correct.
Great minds think alike, me and our official scorer today. But Gonzalez quickly behind to the count 0-2, and Steen has options on where he wants to go at 0-2. Kick and the fire. He comes with a fastball in the outer half. It's just outside. Skaronski's off for second, and he was going to be called out, but the ball squeaks out of the mitt of Erd, the third base umpire who's ranging towards second, cocked his fist back like he was going to punch him out, but then saw the ball come out.
There's a delayed steal by Skaronski. It's the second time we've seen Big Train do that today, and I think maybe caught caught the middle infield napping again, and were not able to hold on to the ball.
1-2, fastball high to Gonzalez, but now a single would score that run from second. Hopefully.
Big Train.
Skoronsky does have speed, and Skoronsky did throw out someone from home throw someone out at home for right field earlier in this game.
Big Train yet again creating havoc on the bases. See if that'll lead to an extra insurance run.
2-2. Kick and the fire. Popped up in the air. Deep center field. Ranging back is Stuyvesant. He's at the wall, and he settles under it to make the catch. The runs on one hit, no errors, and one runner left on base. We head to the bottom half of the ninth. The Big Train protecting a 2-run lead, looking for their first win. Find out if they get it next on the Big Train Baseball Network. Bottom half of the ninth, set to start from Silver Spring, Maryland. The home squad, the Thunderbolts, trail the Bethesda Big Train 3-1, as they will have 6, 7, and 8 due up in this inning. Bryce Curry, Brady Grimes, and Steve Thomas. Still on the mound for the Big Train will be Tanner Kaler. He pitched a scoreless 7th and a scoreless 8th, and through both those innings he's had 4 strikeouts. A lot of it courtesy of some backdoor sliders on the outer at half to right-handed hitters.
Yeah, 3 of his 4 strikeouts have come via the backwards K. And he has done a fantastic job of mixing up backdoor sliders, inside fastballs, and just putting the ball wherever he wants right now.
Bryce Curry into the box to lead it off. First pitch from Kaler is a fastball on the outer half for a strike. Curry 0 for 3 today with a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out. All 3 of the main ways you can get out. 0-1 the count. Kaler comes set at the belt, kicks and fires. Grounds one foul into the Big Train dugout. Heads up to everyone in there. Looks like everyone was attentive and nobody got hit, which is good.
Some action in the Big Train bullpen, but nobody working really hard, so got to imagine that's only for emergencies.
0-2 on Curry. We'll see if Kaler goes back to the backdoor slider. He does. This one caught a little too much plate, so Curry able to foul it back into the net.
Yeah, that time looked like he was trying to go to the backdoor slider, kind of ended up just right over the middle. Maybe a little lucky that Curry wasn't able to drive that pitch, because it wasn't a hanging slider. It had good movement and late break, but it was pretty hittable where it was in the zone.
Another 0-2 on its way. Fastball misses in the dirt outside. Kaler has been pounding the zone a lot, 26 strikes to only 18 balls. The third Big Train pitcher in this game, Drew Bellis, 3 shutout innings to start the game. Then Kide Atatui, 3 innings of 1-run ball in the middle innings. 1-2 the count on Bryce Curry. Kick and the fire. Fastball fouled away into the net again. And Curry putting up a battle after starting down 0-2.
Yeah, good job by Curry to fight off some pitches. T-Bolts have had issues with the swing and miss today. They have struck out 10 times already, 12 times already. But Curry today, or in this at-bat at least, fighting hard.
Kaler trying not to lose him. Kicks and fires. Fastball nubbed towards first. It will land foul out of play. Caught sort of the handle of the bat by Curry.
Almost an excuse me swing. Curry was backing up off the plate. That fastball was running well inside, kind of checked his swing, but went far enough around that the ball caught the bat. Luckily for Curry, trickled foul.
The at-bat continues 1-2. Slider grounded foul down the third base line this time. So Curry becoming a very tough out here for Tanner Kaler. And the T-Bolt dugout showing their support. They're making a little bit of noise to try to encourage their teammate. If he were to get on, it would bring the tying run up to the plate. Kaler trying to win the battle and get the Big Train's 13th strikeout of the game. And now time is called by our home plate umpire. It looks like he's refreshing the count on his clicker, and he's writing some notes down on his notepad.
Just a quick break in the action. We got a warning of some sort towards the T-Bolt's dugout.
Could have been a noise warning from maybe too much chirping, if I had to guess. 1-2 still the count on Bryce Curry. He's put up a very great battle so far, and he fouls another fastball off out of play. And also our home plate umpire is asking for more baseballs, as a fair amount of them have been put out of play by Bryce Curry.
So a lot going on in this at-bat. Between the foul balls, the noise warnings, baseballs. It's a battle, and this is what you want. Bottom of the ninth, 2-run game. Leadoff guy of the inning trying to find his way on.
Another 1-2. This one grounded to third. Ponnet is up with it. Runs into the throw, and it's in time to get Curry for the first out.
Another nice play by Ponnet. This one a little more routine than some of the ones he's had today. He seems to really like throwing off that back foot, getting a running start into it. That time, plenty of time to retire Bryce Curry, and Kaler now 2 outs away.
Brady Grimes will now step in. He has struck out twice and walked today. He was thrown out at home by Josh Skoronsky in right field way back in the 4th inning. He lines one into the gap in left center field, and it's down. This ball will roll all the way to the wall. Grimes is around first. He will walk into second with a 1-out double.
First extra base hit of the game. Comes with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. And now T-Bolt's tying run will come to the plate, and they will be not forced. So importantly, a base open and no double play in order. Game will not end likely on this at-bat. And a pinch runner will come in for Grimes. I see why they would do that, but that run will ultimately isn't going to end up mattering if the guy behind him can't score. Tyson Gill, the pinch runner from Clarion.
You're right, though. That is the first extra base hit by either team in this game. So now the tying run steps to the plate. Steve Thomas. He is 1 for 3 today with a single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Kaler comes set and delivers. Fastball just misses the outer edge for a ball.
Tyson Gill, the pinch runner, 19 stolen bases at Clarion University. 848 OPS, 39 runs scored.
He has some speed out there. That is not the tying run, but when you're down 2 in the 9th, always nice to get a speed upgrade. Fastball just misses again. Thomas ahead in the count, 2-0.
Now the home crowd finally getting loud for the first time. Haven't had much to cheer for since they took a 1-0 lead all the way back in the 4th inning, but with Thomas ahead in the tying run at the plate, crowd is getting lively.
2-0. Slider cannot catch the back door. And the count is 3-0 on Thomas. Kaler in danger of putting the tying run on base. Thomas back into the box. I'd imagine he has the red light here as the tying run. The T-Bolts need him on base. Kaler comes. He comes with the slider on 3-0, and it catches the back door for a strike.
That's the pitch he's been most confident in today. He's gone to it with the full count. He's gone to it when he needed a put-away pitch that time. Not quite a get-me-over slider, still good on the outside part, but certainly the one he's confident in.
3-1 comes back to the slider. This ball slowly chopped down the line. It will just roll foul. The catcher, Hawk, out of the crouch, batted it foul towards the dugout to make sure that ball stayed foul and didn't roll back fair.
Yeah, good job by Hawk. If that ball was fair, he may have had a play on it, but it was a tough angle to throw and certainly the right move to knock it foul, get his pitcher a chance to strike out Thomas.
Runner on second, 1 out. Big Train lead the Thunderbolts 3-1 in the bottom half of the ninth. Kaler now has a full count on Steve Thomas. Kicks and delivers another slider fouled straight back.
That time, instead of going to the back door, kind of dropped it in near the back foot of Steve Thomas in the right-handed batter's box. Thomas just able to get a piece of it.
These Thunderbolt hitters have been fouling off a lot of pitches from Kaler. They've been making him work for every single out. Fastball just misses outside. Hawk couldn't frame it well enough. And Thomas, the tying run, reaches first with a 1-out walk.
A really good at-bat by Steve Thomas. And T-Bolts have put together 3 straight very good at-bats as Sal is going to come out and I think make a call to the bullpen here. So that'll do it for Kaler, who worked 2 really good innings, but in a little bit of trouble here, and Big Train going to have to work hard to get out of this one with a win.
There is someone coming out of the bullpen. Once I can locate a number, I will tell you who it is.
I believe it's number 37, Owen Stewart, who worked a scoreless inning on Wednesday. And that will be who it is.
Stewart will look to complete the save with 2 runners on and 1 out when we come back on the Big Train Baseball Network. Bottom of the ninth, runners on first and second with 1 out. New pitcher out of the bullpen for the Big Train is Owen Stewart out of George Mason University. He pitched a scoreless inning in the ninth on opening day against the DC Grays. 2 days later, he looks for the save. This ball powered deep in the air to right field. Going back is Skoronsky. He makes the catch just in front of the track. Tagging up for third is Gill. He will get there from second. But feet away from a walk-off home run was Josh Erd. Ultimately, it's just a harmless flyout, and the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts are down to their last out as the lineup flips over to the top for Caleb Sturdivant.
Yeah, 1 pitch out for Owen Stewart. Always nice to come in and get a quick one. Now he gets the top of the lineup. Caleb Sturdivant, 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts, golden sombrero. But 1 swing of the bat, he can change his whole day. Winning run at the plate, extra base hit would tie it. Home run obviously would walk it off. So Jacob Hawk went out, had a quick chat with Stewart just to make sure they were on the same page.
The runner at first. Gill, the runner at third. First pitch to Sturdivant. Big swing and a miss on the fastball. Stewart ahead in the count, 0-1. We'll see if tries to take second and put that tying run in scoring position.
I wouldn't be surprised if he took off on this pitch right here.
0-1. Pitch from Stewart. Slider in the dirt. 1-1 the count. 2 outs. 3-1. This lead in favor of the Big Train. Tying run at first. Winning run at the plate.
Did steal 11 bases in 13 tries at this season at Frederick Community College.
Slider catches the outer half. Count is even at 2-2 to Sturdivant, and the T-Bolts down to their final strike. The Big Train, 1 strike away from their first win in 2025. 2-2. Stewart rocks, comes to the plate, swing and a miss on the slider. Sturdivant down on strikes for the 5th time today, and the Big Train win it on the road 3-1.
It took 3 games, but the Big Train are finally in the win column with a 3-1 win. It was the pitching that starred today. Drew Bellis, 3 scoreless. Kide Adatui allowed a run but picks up the win. 3 innings, 1 earned, and then Tanner Kaler, 2.1 before. Owen Stewart picks up his first save of the season with 2 quick outs. And Quincy, it was all about the arms today. The bats got it done when they needed to, but really that pitching after 2 rough games to start the season has really showed out here today.
3 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Big Train. It was 1 run on a measly 4 hits for the Thunderbolts. They made 2 errors, which ultimately allowed 2 runs to cross, and you could point at that for a reason of why they lost this game. That was just an unlucky 5th inning that they had to go through. So for myself, Eliab Brooks-Rubin, the Big Train get their first win of the year in Silver Spring. Any last thoughts before we head off?
Well, tomorrow, Big Train will go to Gaithersburg, final game of their 3-game road trip before returning home for Sunday matinee. Gaithersburg 0-3 to start the year. Big Train will look to continue their winning ways. We'll see what the Arms have to say about that tomorrow, but that's it for me.
That's all from Silver Spring-Takoma. The Big Train win it 3-1, and they will be 1-2 as they head to Gaithersburg tomorrow.